What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Wildcat Cave. I believe John Calipari has seen the light. It looks like Kentucky has finally figured out their best lineups and their rotations, and now they're on a 4-game win streak heading into the Kansas game this Saturday. Last night against Vanderbilt, Kentucky seemed to be firing on all cylinders. Now listen, I know it's Vanderbilt, but this is a Vandy team that destroyed Arkansas, who everybody thought was really good, and played Bama and Mizzou really close. But Kansas will be coming into Rupp as the number 9 ranked team in the country. And in this video, I'll talk about what has led to Kentucky's success and give my thoughts on the Cats versus the Jayhawks. First things first, shout out to everybody who hopped on the live stream last week. It went really well. I had a lot of fun doing it. I hope you guys did too. There was a lot of good questions and conversations that came out of it, and I'll keep you guys updated on the next one. But anyway, what has led to Kentucky's recent basketball success? I think the first thing is the most obvious, and it's the basketball Benny lineup of Kaysen, Antonio, CJ, Toppin, and Oscar. I think that's the most obvious change that's been made. Ever since Cal made that change at Tennessee, Kentucky seems to just play a lot better. In Kaysen, and I think the key to that is CJ and Antonio playing together. The other guys obviously help facilitate that, but those two dudes on the court at the same time really just opens everybody else up. If you can have those two guys on the wing, even with Severe playing the point, it just opens the floor. They're not able to clog the lane as much, which obviously helps Oscar. It allows Toppin to have that mid-range or possibly a lane to the rim. And when Severe does drive and when he's in, they can't just collapse because he has those outlet passes to the wings. And also, Severe playing less has been better for him. I'm not trying to hate on Severe or anything here, but him playing, even last night, he played like 15 minutes, and I think that was perfect for him. He had some mistakes, but he was able to come in the game and change the tempo up. So while I do love the basketball Benny lineup of Kaysen, Antonio, CJ, Toppin, and Oscar, it worked just as well with Severe around the point, which I think says that lineup is less about Kaysen running the point than it is having CJ and Antonio on the floor at the same time. That basketball Benny lineup minus Kaysen with Severe was +8 last night, which is a really good plus-minus for them. Another thing that I think has changed is just Cal's coaching style, whether it be his attitude, the way he's calling plays now is completely different. We're running out of bounds plays. That's something that just doesn't happen at Kentucky. I think Cal has taken a step back, realized, number one, he can't be as hard on these dudes. He can't get up in their face and scream and yell and just try to push them as hard as he possibly can. And him running sets now. He had an interview where he even said normally he just, when they get in a tight spot, he just tells a dude, go get a basket. Go get a basket. He's realized this team can't do that. This team doesn't have the pieces to just go get a basket. You have to run these half-court plays. Last night against Vanderbilt, they looked good because they were in transition a lot. It was a really fast-paced game, which plays well for Kentucky. But in games where they slow down, and even last night when Vanderbilt decided to slow Kentucky down in the half-court, they ran sets and they got good looks. They got a lot of open layups, some backdoor cuts, open threes, and that's something Cal normally doesn't do, but credit to him. He's realized this team needs it. And then, of course, the out-of-bounds plays, calling timeouts right before half or, at crucial points. Normally, he lets his teams play through that and kind of figure it out on their own. This team, he's realized, I got to call timeout. We got to set something up. And in the past couple games, he's had a lot of success doing that. And, the last thing I think has led to their success is just this team gets along better now. Cal even referenced it in the post-game last week that they had a team meeting. And normally Cal don't come out and say stuff like that. It was Orlando, Chin, and the team. I mentioned in a couple videos that I thought there was some disconnect between the coaches and the players and the players, the coaches and the coaches. And whatever they talked about in that meeting seems to have worked. It seems like they've hashed out whatever problems there was there. And now everything seems to be clicking a lot better. Cal also says with some of his teams in the past, he's got hotel rooms even for home weekend games when they don't have class. And he said he started doing that with this team. They go out to team meals and kind of just forcing these guys to be around each other. I know I've said again in another video that there was some problems in the team. Everybody kind of did their own thing. I think Cal's remedied that a little bit. It seems like these guys are getting along better, and everything is starting to click for this team, and just in the nick of time, too. I don't think this team could have won another week or two playing how they were, and then want to make the tournament. But now we're on a 4-game win streak. We have Kansas coming to Rupp this weekend, and all signs are pointing up for the Cats right now. So all of that's good news, but does any of it really mean anything when it comes to beating Kansas this Saturday? Kansas is coming into Rupp 16-4. At one point, we're 13-1. They are on a 3-game losing streak right now, and UK falls right in the middle of a 7-game stretch for Kansas where they play 6th-ranked teams, and the non-ranked team is Kentucky right in the center. Right now, they're 1-3 in that stretch. I think they beat Iowa State. They lost at Kansas State by 1. They got blown out by TCU at home by 23. And then most recently just lost to Baylor by 6. So Kentucky could be catching Kansas at a really ideal time right now. They're not playing well. They're not shooting well. I'm sure the morale is down. So this could be a really, really prime opportunity. Kentucky usually plays well against Kansas and Bill Self for whatever reason, but it seems like they might be catching the Jayhawks at just the perfect time to pull off the upset at Rupp. Now, Kansas is a team that's they're a jack of all trades. They're good at everything, great at nothing. They average 76 a game, not bad. 37 rebounds a game, again, not bad. 46% from the field, not bad. 36% from 3, good, not great. 70% from the free throw line, again, good, not great. And about 12 turnovers, which is actually pretty good, again, not great though. Jalen Wilson is their leader. He's their forward/center, whatever he kind of plays there. He leads them in points and rebounds with 21 and 8 a game. So obviously a really big offensive threat. Grady Dick, Pettiford, and Harris all shoot over 40% from 3. But everyone else is kind of below average in 3-point shooting. So in my opinion, it's going to be on Toppin and Oscar to defend Wilson. However Cal decides to play that. And then they must guard the 3-point line. It's going to be on Severe, Kaysen, Antonio, CJ. They cannot allow Grady Dick, Pettiford, and Harris to shoot lights out in Rupp. There's always somebody in Rupp that goes off. We can't allow it to be those 3 guys. If a random 25% 3-point shooter decides to make a couple, we live with that. But we cannot allow those 3 dudes to get hot. They haven't played well recently, but, anything can happen, and if Kentucky doesn't come ready to play some good defense, it could get really ugly. Now, Kentucky, on the other hand, is coming into the game 14-6. Obviously, Kansas is on a 3-game losing streak. Kentucky's on a 4-game winning streak. On paper, these teams are almost identical. All those stats I just read to you, Kentucky's are almost the exact, down to the 10th, almost the exact same. I'll put those on the screen right here for you guys to look at. But ever since we figured out this lineup, there's just better spacing, better shots, better flow, and even when the variations of this lineup are in, like I said, when Severe runs the point and Kaysen's on the bench, when you switch out Chris Livingston at the 4 for Toppin, whatever, as long as CJ and Antonio are on the court at the same time, this team flows better, the floor is more spread out, we're getting better shots, and the offense looks so much better in the half court. Right now, the Benny lineup is the most efficient lineup in all of college basketball on offense and top 15 in defense. So this, what I believe is that Cal is really worried about that team giving up a lot of, points on defense. He didn't think they'd be a great defending team, which is part of the reason he didn't play it. This team is locking people down on defense, along with their obvious scoring abilities. It's the perfect combination for Kentucky to run. What I do think is going to be a key to this game is we have to keep Kaysen and Oscar out of foul trouble. Kaysen, for whatever reason, gets more of the touch fouls called on him than any player I've ever seen. He can't breathe on a guy without Doug Schowles or somebody calling a foul on him. And then Oscar, obviously, he likes to jump at ball fakes. He likes to swat. So we're going to have to really rely on those guys to not do that stuff and keep those guys out of foul trouble. And then again, Kaysen, CJ, Antonio, Severe when he's in, they all are going to have to be great guarding the 3-point line. We cannot allow Grady Dick and Pettiford and Harris to get going shooting the ball. They're going to make their shots. They're good enough players. They're going to get theirs. but we can't make it easy on them. If those 3 to 4 guys can guard Kansas's guards, we're going to be okay, I believe. And then Oscar down low should be able to take Jalen Wilson on offense. I don't think Jalen Wilson, I think he's 6'11". Those tall dudes give Oscar problems, but he usually does okay scoring on them. He just has trouble defending them. What I do if I'm Cal on defense, let Toppin defend him. Topper's taller, he's longer, he's more athletic, and I think he'll have a better shot at staying in front of him. And then depending on how Bill Self wants to run it, I would like for him to put Wilson on Oscar on the offensive end. I think Oscar's better than him offensively than Wilson is on defense. And then have Cal put Toppin on him on defense for Kentucky. I think that'd be a good way to help minimize him. But again, it all depends on how Calipari wants to play. So now, what is my prediction for the game? Again, these teams are extremely similar on paper and in style with UK's new lineup. With the basketball Benny lineup, the way they play is very similar. The stats are really similar. Both teams have 3 guards who can shoot. Like I said, they have Grady Dick, Harris, and Pettiford. We have Case and CJ Antonio. And they have a scoring big. We have Oscar. They have Jalen Wilson. So again, teams are going to play really similar stats, so it should be a really, really good game. The biggest thing is it's important for UK not to start slow. Now, last night against Vandy, really good job of this. But in previous games, we've seen they'll get down 8-2, 11-2, 13-4. These really slow starts. If Kentucky can come out firing and come out aggressive, that gives them a lot better shot. And then, of course, we don't let them heat up from 3, and I think we have a chance to pull the upset and rup. For my prediction, I'm going to take UK 74, Kansas 67. I think Cats get the win. Maybe some free throws late puts them up to that 6-point spread I have, 7-point spread. But I think Kentucky can pull this one off, continue that momentum, and hopefully make a run in February and March, and we'll see what happens. That is going to wrap up this video, guys. Leave your predictions down in the comments for the Kansas game. Whoever is closest will get a shout out in next week's video. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any more videos or the live streams. Like this video, and I will see you guys next week. Go Cats.